Hello everyone, it's Juan Martinez, Century 21 Americana Real Estate School. And today our school recruiter came to me, Carmela, and said, you know, Juan, somebody asked, how do realtors make money? And so, you know, Carmela says, how do you respond to that? And so let me just give you what my thoughts are on how real estate agents make money. And I'm going to keep it as simple as possible and short and sweet. There's a lot of answers that I could give to this, but let's just keep it short and sweet. A realtor, in my eyes, is a salesperson, okay? And so in the world of sales, and listing and selling residential real estate homes, I want you to think about this. In order for you to get paid and to make money as a real estate agent, you must, one, take listings. When I say take listings means that you find a seller that is motivated, needs to list their home because they need to relocate, transfer, whatever it is that they need to do. And so you as a salesperson need to get a listing contract signed with that seller, that motivated seller or sellers. So that is one way for you to ultimately get paid as a real estate agent. You must take a listing. The second thing is that when you take the listing, you got to make sure that you price it right, that it's priced properly in the marketplace, and that ultimately you get traffic to this home, and you end up receiving an offer. So you get an offer, you negotiate on behalf of the seller, you put the property under contract, and that is what we call a listing sold. So number two, in how do realtors make money is basically the listing that you took, you got to be able to get it sold, negotiate on behalf of the seller, and put that thing under contract in order for it to close. Okay, and again, how does a realtor make money? You get money by getting a commission check, closing a deal. You get your commission check, and that's how you receive money. So how do you get the commission check? One is you take a listing, you find a motivated seller. Secondly, is that you got to get that listing under contract. You know, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 homes get listed every month, but it doesn't mean that every property that goes on the market is actually going to sell and close. There's a lot of properties, thousands of properties each month that actually expire and do not sell. And then the third way to get paid is basically you get a buyer, you go show property, you write an offer, you get an offer accepted, and you put the buyer under contract. Okay, buyer goes under contract, you got to do inspections, and you got to do all this service once they go into escrow, and then you close the deal. So let me repeat here. You get a listing, you take a listing, you put a listing under contract, or you put a buyer under contract. And those are the three ways that ultimately you are going to receive a commission check as a real estate agent. And so that is how realtors get paid. Now, the more contracts you get signed, if you get a contract signed once a week, great, that's 50-something contracts that you get signed in a year. If you have the ability eventually and you build the skills to be able to get a contract signed on a weekly basis, okay, or maybe even a daily basis, now you're talking about high volume business. But at the end, if you want to check, you got to get a listing taken, a listing sold, and put a buyer under contract. That's how realtors get paid. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to call 702-296-9998, and that is Century 21 Americana Real Estate School. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.